Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Yes, we're an island. There's multiple islands here. It's not just one island in Hawaii, people. There's five basic ones. Uh, so when they say, "Where are you?" Oh, the Big Island is separate than Honolulu. Just so you know, people, Honolulu. I just went there. I had to fly there to get my partner from the hospital. Uh, it looks worse than New York City. I never was there the first time. I mean, it looks as bad at nighttime when the plane took off. When I flew over, it was the biggest ball of lights I ever saw. Oh man, it's incredible to think they put that on a small island, because the island I'm on is the biggest island. Honolulu is a smaller island, but it's just mind-boggling. So everybody, my partner's doing okay. Anybody that sent prayers out, I appreciate it. Thank you. She's doing a lot better. Uh, so what I want to get into today is what's going on in the real world. All right. Let me open up the chat room. Sorry about that. Where's the chat room? Let me just say hello, everybody, real fast. All right. So here's the thing. I don't know if you read the title. I hope you did, at least. So you know what the show's kind of going to be about. But it's, to me, I'm kind of getting more depressed about the UFO world and what's going on in the government world, in all aspects of life right now. It's pretty sad what the richest people are doing. Mr. Musk is bragging about, oh, there's going to be on the moon. I said, yeah, really? And what? And so what? What are they going to do? And I said this to him just today. You even know there's bases on the moon and they're not ours? Are you even aware of that? And I said, Mars, I'm sure he doesn't want to know about Mars. We're not going to get there anytime soon, even though there's beings up there. These people talk in the UFO world, or even if they're not in the UFO world, when they talk about it, I never saw such ignorance. It's mind-boggling. And what I mean right now, any day I go out, if I talk to more than 5 people, at least one of them will say they saw UFOs in the past couple of days or more. Any day I go out. If I open my mouth to a person, they'll say, oh, yeah, I saw UFOs last night. I saw a ship last night. I saw a mothership. That's all I hear. And they all know me. I mean, I don't have a sign UFOs on, but they know me, basically, a lot of people. And they'll come over and say, oh, you know what we saw last night? I mean, it's how big? It's bigger than anything you could imagine. And it's not even on the news mainstream. Why is that? Are people that dumbed down? They don't care what's happening to the planet? What the government's suppressing? What these rich people are suppressing? Do you have a clue what Mr. Gates' goal is and Mr. Musk's goal is? He's talking about malaria now. Really? We're in the middle of a virus, so-called virus, and he's talking about malaria. He says if we work together, we can cure malaria. We didn't cure leprosy. We have the cure for leprosy, and there's still people on the planet with leprosy.
They haven't even got a cure for the common cold, Tommy.
And that's a problem, yeah. But they got a cure for hepatitis 3. My partner had to take it, and she got rid of it. It's only $70,000 for the pills, 70 pills. So that's what they treat and how they treat people like us. Oh, we have to pay for their research? Aren't you paying them to do research? And then we got to pay them because you want money back? Really? Our system's so screwed up. Aliens aren't going to help us people anytime soon. Not the races out of here. They're not doing anything good. And all these people coming out with these great stories and, oh, the good aliens. Somebody just put up, I think there's 87 races. I said, who's going to document that? Does he got proof of one? And he's going to say that there's 87? I know all the people in the UFO world that spoke about it, that were big speakers. The most anyone ever said was 27. I heard somebody say 47, but as the average, even Putin said 27 races. So that 27 kind of reigns through to all people in the UFO world that are aware of the truth or things that are happening by other people and themselves. Tina knows there's one race out there, don't you?
Well, all right, good evening, everybody. I'm Tina
Greetings,
Rand.
everybody. Here's Tina. Hi.
Yeah, greetings from here in the UK, in Southampton. And yes, apart from the humans, which we are all part of, people, there are other
What the heck was
species
that?
out there.
Did you hear that?
No.
Something just exploded. I have no clue. You can keep talking. I don't know what it was.
I did. I'm not sure if it was your chair or if there was a noise. Oh, God. I hope everything's all right then, Tommy. Nothing catches fire. Right. So apart from
That's
the
what I'm looking
human
for.
race, there are other species out there, non-biological entities now, as people have put a phrase to it, EBEs or non-extraterrestrial biological entities, whatever. So there are different species. We have male and female human beings, and obviously they have different species out there, and obviously different sexes of species. So yeah, Tommy is correct in saying that. Just a few things while Tommy's looking at his hitches there. Is this week in the news. First off, I do apologise for last week not being able to do the show, but I'm here this week, so I do apologise for that. This week, a topic of conversation in the UK has actually been different things. We've just had that COP21, but I'm not going to go there. But Russia this week has made some interesting moves. Now, I always like to keep an eye on Russia because they never cease to surprise me. But do you know what? Fair play to Mr. Putin. I must say that. I think I've always, I've kind of admired world leaders, and but fair play to Mr. Putin. He has turned around and said he's going to back up Belarus. He said, let them stand on their own 2 feet, basically. If you want to know about Belarus, ask Belarus. But they're going to be the big brother for them and stand behind them. If you want to invade them with hundreds of thousands of migrants, they will invade Europe and put a stop to it. So he's prepared to go to war over it and put 100,000 Russian troops on the border between Russia and Belarus to back Belarus up. Now, that's over a migrant crisis. The other reason the Russians have been in the news this week is they decided to launch a missile. Now, it wasn't an act of war. They launched a missile into space, apparently nearly missing the space station, but got one of their own satellites. So, if they're going to get rid of space debris, so it's not going to crash to Earth and vaporize bits, so they're not had about them, fair enough, as long as it's not made more mess of space than it already is. So that hit the headlines. But the other thing also that's hit the headlines this week on the internet news and other news, apart from the virus, is UFO news. Apparently now senior members of the not just the American government, but other governments around the world are now coming out and making amendments. There's a US, I'm not sure if she's Secretary of State or Security or what she is, has added a clause saying that she wants it investigated about people's sightings with UFOs and the harm UFOs do to military personnel or people that have been close to UFOs because of radiation, people dying, things like that. Now, she wants the medical side of that actually looked at, or the conditions of that, but they're not opening that up to the general public, just military personnel. They just wants it looked at, which is a step forward, which means while she's demanding that or putting that forward in legislation, it clarifies the act in so many ways that, yes, UFOs are real because not only are they looking into them, they're looking into...
Welcome once again to Capricorn Radio. This is your faithful host, James. I'm delighted to be back again today. It's my second show today, and got a super interesting guy here.
You're right there.
Yeah.
And the consequences of being, invaded or having a close encounter with a UFO. But again, it's just military. And there's lots of other things that have been spotted in the sky around the world. And like Tommy says, there's been more and more frequency of UFOs being spotted on doorbells, cameras, other outside surveillance equipment, rooftop cameras, security guards and people. So because people are pointing their cameras up now and out, a lot more is being captured. So, which does beg to differ. We're not seeing much from the space station and other satellites from space reporting stuff. If it's being run by government money, which is being funded by the public, and they take pictures and scans, I understand sensitivity over countries and things like that. But why aren't they saying, look, we've actually captured a UFO? If they're saying we can see them from the ground and up, or we can see them underwater, civilians can see them, the military can see them, they're chasing aircraft, they're chasing missiles, but a space station can't take a picture of one. Again, that's a whole lot of machinery someone's paying for that obviously doesn't work, or they're withholding lots of evidence to the general public or the military. But Tommy, any questions?
No, you could go if you got more to say.
So I think now it's what I'm saying is now there's so much. I think people want it to come out, not just the public. They've wanted that for years. I think people within the military, because they no longer can contain the situation. As I state in my book, it's every world leader's responsibility to protect us from invaders, and that includes foreign invaders from out of this world. Now, if they're failing to do that, they're failing humanity, the human race, and we're taxpayers that vote these people in every single day. We're voting people into government to protect us, to reassure us, provide from us, and, you know, innovation, build for us a pathway to the future, but they can't stop us being taken and tortured. So I think now it is like squeezing us, it's all done in it. But yeah, so
oh, I don't know. You're breaking up a lot right now. You were breaking up a lot last 2 weeks ago, but what I think, tell me if you think this would be a cool idea. Start a petition, and when to talk about and sign it saying we want our people
protected. I lost
protected.
your petition. You just come back on, Tommy. Say it again.
We want protection for our people. We want to know that there's going to be protection for our people. And if we can get, I don't know, a certain number of people, we can give it to the White House, and they'll have to do something about it. If we bring it up, now we know there's millions of people that have been abducted. If we could get 20% of them to sign a petition to the government, they can't.
Well, you don't seem to realise over 20% of them, over 20% of those people have made abduction reports to the government, to the police. This is just in America, right? So just in America, over 200,000 people, more than that, we're just taking it as a figure off the top of the head, have reported this, right? Now, just supposing one person just say in Canada, Africa, America, or England, turned around and said, a man dressed in a military uniform walked down the road, came in my house, abducted me, took me up the road to me, cut bits out of me, wore a uniform, took me back, left me in my house, and went away. You'd have the United Nations there. You'd have every world leader there demanding what force is walking around abducting people in different countries at gunpoint and taking them. You'd get all kinds of help, relief, medical treatment. You'd have every resource available to you. Now, these people are telling you in writing this is happening and nothing's being done. What does that tell you?
All right. If you saw what was put in the chat room, I'm just answering them. All right. They said, why don't they shoot some of these creeps down? They did, and we do. All right. I saw 2 personally get shot down in Hawaii, and they never said a word about it anywhere. And it was funny because I was in my house, and my partner is so not into UFOs. But she goes, "There's something strange going on in the sky. Check it out." I went outside. I'm watching this ship cruise along the sky, and it got blasted. And about 20 minutes later, another ship was coming by, and they blasted that one as well.
In England, they have sent up, is it F-14s or F-16s? I think it's F-14s, I'm not quite sure, or F-111s. They've sent them up, or Typhoons now, and chased them. But they're so fast, they make Typhoons look like slow locomotives, and when they shoot off. So their technology to escape is a lot better than ours. And they've been shown on camera by the military to disable nuclear weapons, aircraft, and missiles from midair, something which we cannot do. So they're technologically advanced, but they do have mishaps now and then. They do hit planes. They do crash into each other. Our volcanoes affect them. Lightning affects them. Our radar affects them. So there's lots of things we could do to target them. Tommy.
Well, there's an airport base in somewhere, and I can't think of the name of it. Not Michael's. I'm trying to think what it's called. All right. I have the original tape documented when there was 2 ships over the Air Force Base for an hour. It took them 45 minutes to get 2 ships to go there. And when those 2 ships finally got there, all they saw was the 2 ships shoot out into space. But I have the live recording. It went from the tower. They called the first person. He didn't have any power over anybody. He had to call another person. And it went up the chain from one person to another to the highest level when they could actually send a jet up there. But by the time they sent it, it was almost 45 minutes later after that original call.
So you're hearing noise. My partner's just coming to think of where I'm recording. But just to add to that, Tommy, what I don't think the other people realise is the other side of the coin to this. So we're seeing UFOs people want to make contact with. Everybody can't be a friend to a friend, which tells us at some point or somewhere in the universe, there's other little beings that don't get on with the beings that visit us. Now, one of these little beings once said to me that the others are coming soon. They're not supposed to come here, but they do. Now, they obviously don't get on together. What happens when these other little beings that aren't supposed to come here do in a mass scale? Because these other people they don't like have been visiting us. Perhaps they're going to come here to see what all the fuss is about. Where does that then leave us?
Well, originally what I'm still thinking about is starting a petition, really. And basically, you said it a long time ago. They're not protecting you. They're not paying for your medical bills. They're not paying anything. And you got all the symptoms of all problems and everything else that they should be paying for because they didn't protect you. Now, here's the other thing. If we can get a large number of signatures, they can't come out and say they're all crazy. See, what happens when one person files a report, it's easy to say that they're crazy because nobody's going to back them up. But you got a couple thousand, 100,000 people saying, yes, we saw him, we blah, blah, blah. They can't come out and say, well, you are all crazy people. All right. Never mind people that have witnesses. Like I saw many things with people around me as well. I saw a giant ship crash into the ground, maybe 100 yards from us, and it went right through the ground into the ground. So, I mean, not just me being drunk or somebody else being on drugs or things like that. So it's something, it's the time. But the problem is people are not going to want what happens when they do make themselves known. Because, okay, now we know they're abducting people. Now what do? The same thing we've been doing. Just hide out and don't go outside and make sure you have a steel roof and that's solid and all these protectors around it. What are you going to do to protect yourself from a UFO?
I mean,
really?
What happens is people don't realize if they are testing our strength when they come into our atmosphere, come into your home, testing our reaction, our human reaction, us as specimens. They take it the second that you're in their link, they know all your knowledge. They're like that, all your knowledge. So you can't really seem to get. We should be using anything we know now to build upon that knowledge. They may be been doing that in 6 years. I don't know if they have. They haven't shared it with the public.
I want to answer the question. Question in the chat room, but basically, there's a lot of different definitions of what they are. All right, it's the same in the Men in Black. There's a government Men in Black and there's alien Men in Black. And when you talk about shadow people, there's entities that could be the shadow people. All right, and it's not just an alien race. So there's many things nobody's ready to listen to or even understand. And the government's not going to come out and talk about demons ever anytime soon. So when we deal with multiple entities and creatures and forms of life, it's going to take a lot to make it come out publicly. And the only way that's going to happen is if an alien race lands in front of the White House and they stand there and block every weapon that they put at them. And then they say, okay.
Okay, just to interrupt there, Tommy, you are breaking up a lot.
You're breaking
1947, up. 1947, UFOs were filmed over the White House. Huge groups of them were filmed and still pictures were taken. They're available to see on the internet. They're proven to be real pictures with thousands of people that saw these things in the sky. So you have witnesses, evidence, government evidence. And what? So UFOs have been to the White House. People just don't want to take notice of that. The problem is the military is going to release it in their own way. They're becoming, more reports are being released. They're trying to look like they're, we've really just found out about UFOs. Let's find out about people's medical side of having a UFO encounter. Now, never mind the medical issue of just seeing a UFO. What about the medical issue of being in a UFO? Two different things, believe me.
There's a serious problem here. And the problem with planet Earth is called money. But in the UFO world, it's no different. Now, what's his face with the frizzy hairdo on Ancient Aliens is selling shirts with his picture on it. Why in the world would anybody want his picture on a shirt? I'm talking about aliens, and I want a picture of this idiot's hairdo on my shirt. So people are out here taking money from any people that they can, any which way they can, and then telling them stories. I mean, if I wanted to make money, I could buy. If Tina wanted to make money, she could buy a little. Just turn around and make this a good story. People would love to hear it and want to hear it in. But if she tells them the truth, they don't want to know that they're bad and they're not treating us nice and they're taking us apart. No, they don't want to know that. They want to know that they're taking us for dinner and showing us these beautiful cities and countries on other planets.
Just to use this as an example, right? Not to, don't want to disrespect anybody's religion, because I'm not about that. I actually like religious history and things like that. So just look at aliens like God. People look down to them, praise them. They're a savior, comes from the sky, all glistening, all known. Fair enough. On the other hand, he rained down on the earth. He sent plagues, killed billions of people, flooded the earth, smited people. He had Sodom and Gomorrah, rivers of blood. You've had lightning strikes, natural disasters. There are always two sides to even something that is all shining and all good. People just want to believe if they wanted to do something good, they could. If they wanted to do something good, they've had millions of years to do something good. Doing something good is not covertly taking people from their beds and children and animals and human beings and mutilating them and chopping them up and putting them back. If that's something good, that's not a good experience I'd like to happen again. I've had my fill of that, thank you. So they could, should have, would have, could have, but they don't. Sorry.
Well, these people that think good aliens are coming and they're going to help us, like she just said, they haven't done anything positive for the human race in 30,000 years. So meaning, okay, next week they're going to come down and help the world. Why? What would change in their reality that would make them or force them into doing it? I mean, if we were going to blow up their planet, they might turn around and say, hey, let's be friends, or something like that. But until
people, sorry, so I just clicked. People only want to believe in UFOs and would like, yeah, you're all right, if they thought that they were good. People are terrified if UFOs are real, which they are, and these guys are not very pleasant. They're not very nice. Do things covertly and hurt humans. But you don't want to accept that, but you'd rather accept it if they were good and all shining. Is that right? Am I getting that wrong?
They made it was a real movie, but it was really a comedy. UFOs with Mars attacks. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, I heard about it. I haven't seen it, yeah.
But, these aliens are going, and then the guy's translating, well, they said they're here to help us. And then all of a sudden they pull out these cannons and blast everybody.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
So, they're not going to tell us, even if they're here right now. The aliens are going to have to be the ones to tell us anything they want, because the government's not going to tell us anything they want.
When you've got human reliable humans are telling you going on, are telling you what they're seeing. If David Attenborough went on telly and said, there's an extinct whale we thought had been dead, like Megalodon or a shark, billions of years ago, it's really the Loch Ness Monster, no one's ever seen it, and this is what it is, people were believing. That's a human being on camera telling you he's never seen one with his own eyes, but they exist. You believe him. You've got other human beings, just because they don't have notoriety, saying these things are happening, these things are real, this is what's going on, and you're not believing them. Where's the difference? Money and fame? So if I suddenly won the lottery, you believe me? I'm telling you this now for free, and people aren't taking it in.
That's funny because I walked my dog down to the ocean every morning, and I said, I don't ever see anything other than turtles in the water. And all of a sudden, there were 2 giant whales out there jumping up and jumping out of the water and everything else. This morning, it's early for whales to be coming back here. They usually don't come in until after December, January. But I saw 2 today, and they were happy as buggers because they're like jumping up and going around. So they're coming back already. Something's wrong. Now, on the 19th, which is only a week away, it's going to be the longest lunar eclipse we ever had in this century. They're saying it could be 3 hours long.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to happen on the 19th, people. Get ready for some weird energy that manifests. And that changes it. The moon affects everything greatly.
Tides and that.
That could create some major disaster as well. But the government's not going to say that either. Just that we're going to have a long one, so just you can watch it. You'll be able to watch it for a longer period of time. But what's today's date? Today is
16th. So Saturday. This Saturday, 3 days, 3 nights from now.
The 19th, Friday.
Oh, Friday. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. Sorry.
So Friday, get ready for a change of energy and some weird stuff going down. If it's not already starting. But getting back to where we're going, where I'm trying to go with this today, the UFO world. I listen to everybody I can in the UFO world, putting lectures up and talking, and it said Alex Jones lost his case. I mean, they've been attacking him forever. If he said God wasn't real, they would attack him. Whatever he would say, they would attack him. When he exposed the Skull and Bones, they attacked him. But, he's putting truth out, like Snowden is. If you put the truth out, you're attacked, people. If you're out there speaking like these people from Ancient Aliens going on and on and on, and nobody's going after them, something's wrong. I can tell you, all my friends in the UFO world, even Robert Morning Sky, they tried killing him a couple of times. In front of his house, a black car plowed into him and broke every bone in his body. Then he was still talking about aliens. They said he was going to do a TV show, and he disappeared for 3 days, and they reprogrammed him. Seriously. I could go on about the stories. I mean, Bob Dean was one of the best speakers in the UFO world. He died a couple of years ago. But the people that I know, including a person from MJ-12, all died. My best friend's whole family disappeared after I showed him some UFO pictures. I mean, when he came over to the house, he said, well, I'm not even supposed to be involved with UFOs at any level. And then 3 days later, his whole family was gone. I met a young kid here in Hawaii. His father worked on the HARP system in Hawaii, people. Nick Baggage claims there's nothing going on in Hawaii. He's making tons of money. I think something happened with his wife, and he made a fortune. And he's still talking about his father being shot down. And now he even changes that story to make it so that he could get on a TV show. But again, there's 2 HARP systems in Hawaii. All right. And this person I was friends with, he was fixing my computer, was going to give me a video taken from inside it. And he said he sent it to me. I never got it. I saw him a month later. Oh, I'll send it to you again. Never got it. And he goes, well, come and I'll give it to you. He was no longer working in the store when I got there. All right. I think they brought him inside the base. He was a genius. So rather than leaving him outside talking about the base, they brought him inside. That's what I truly believe. Because I asked the company, I said, can I find out? We can't give any information about people that worked here. I said, but he was a friend and I can't get in touch with him now. Oh, no, he's not, blah, blah, blah. So I never found out what happened to him. But he was young, and his father worked in Area 51 in Hawaii. And he had a video, and I was supposed to get it. I mean, there's cool things in my life that I seen. I saw a picture of the bases on the moon. The government has them now. all the things I was involved with disappear or kill, the people that I dealt with. I know 15 people that were killed in the UFO world. Friends, all right, top speakers, you name it. All right, these people that are speaking and going on, claiming that. I've been trying to get in touch with Elizondo for 3 months now. I never got a single reply, and I really believe he's afraid to talk to me. I think he's a government program because he said he's still part of the government. He can't talk about things then if he's still part of the government. Government don't let people talk about their secret programs ever. I don't know what's wrong with people. They listen to people. They say, "Oh, he's released." He didn't release anything. Like you said, that noise that came on. Russia released a 2.5-hour video documentary of UFO stuff. Now they just released it. All right, it's probably online. People try to pull it up. All right, the truth's coming out. How hard? Everybody has a camera. Everybody's putting things up online. They're not being investigated by the government, but they're out there. So it's up to you, people. I mean, some of the things are ridiculous. There's another show about all kinds of weird things, ghosts, spirits, demons, and UFOs. And they still show that little alien that came out of the house, walked in front of the car, dancing, and then walked around the house. And they're still making it sound like an alien. I said, no alien opens the door and walks through it. Never saw that happen, ever. Second of all, it's the same exact size as her son. He was walking ball-legged, had his underwear on, and he had his pair of underwear over his head. That's what it is, and that's who it is and what it is. And the mother, oh, no. And she goes, well, he was sleeping and I was sleeping, but the door was open. The door was open? So that means a little kid could just walk out the door and do what he did, this Irish jig in front of the car. I mean, and that's what they put their attention on. And it's on TV all the time.
They don't move like that.
It's time, people.
Just going to ask a question in the chat room. We spoke about this once before, the missing, the 411. I want to say, is it someone Podesta or something like that? Can't remember his name. Politis or something like that. Politis. Very good. He did a documentary and a book about people that went missing in
the parks.
In the parks that didn't have to be registered by rangers and that. And there's I mean, Tommy spoke about this before. Lots of people bring that up. And yes, it was hinted at. Quite a few people that went missing. But also, I'm not sure if it was him or another investigator touched on the same subject in Alaska. There was one spell in Alaska, I think within a period of 3 to 6 months, over 3,000 people went missing. Bodies were never found. People reported missing and never found. So if they go missing in the snow, when the snow defrosts and the weather, because it's severe weather, the bodies would be everywhere. And they can't leave. They've got no track records, no cash point cards ever used. The cars are still where they left them. Where are these people? And that's just in 3 to 6 months. And nobody's investigated that apart from one guy.
The one story that I find, I know the most important story there is that happened in New Jersey, but the other story that I think is quite important was when a ship landed in the schoolyard and all the kids went over to the alien and the aliens came.
South Africa.
And the teachers saw him too. Now, they interviewed them just this year again, and they all are in the same story, same place, you know, and people like Bud Hopkins claims he can tell if a person's making a
Ariel, the Ariel case. It's called Ariel. Yeah.
Bud Hopkins, who actually helped create MUFON, which is another ridiculous organization. Sorry, people. All right. Their program, they do nothing. All the time and money that's spent that they make goes to useless problems because they don't solve or prove anything. So here's the thing. I mean, Bigelow bought their records a long time ago. And when I was involved with them, they treated me like garbage. And I said, look, I'm not a stupid drunk. I have pictures. I have more pictures than anybody else in the United States of UFOs. And you refuse to come talk to me? Even when I was at John Edmonds Ranch, when we were seeing all kinds of ships and everything, oh, we'll call you. We'll get in touch with. And they call me at 12 midnight and they say, are you there? And they hung up on me. Then Monday, they never called me back, and they never called me since. I quit MUFON. I was going to become a field investigator in Hawaii. Because the one guy that they have here was a drunk anyway. And he was a real drunk. I know him personally. He was related.
I spoke to a MUFON investigator here in the UK when I was fully investigating my case in England. It was also, after they'd given a few lectures about it, it was issued in 4 issues of the UFO Truth magazine. And I went to some gathering in Manchester and ran into this MUFON investigator, and we sat down at this hotel and spoke for many hours about my case, and Travis Walton, who I'd met previously before. Really good. Well, I found he was very, very good, but he was a UK-based investigator.
Well, people, why we do this show is to bring truth out. You want to listen to all those people at those conferences and all the TV shows. What do you have as proof of anything? I mean, ancient aliens. Oh, well, this was a symbol of an ancient alien. I have a friend involved with digging in Mexico. They found thousands and thousands of artifacts buried of alien information, statues, and carvings. It shows their history. It shows them. It shows a lot of different things. And my friend actually bought a whole section for a museum. So was somebody able to do that? No. But why was it covered up? Why was it completely covered over? See, people, all these races that came and went, people. A lot of them are no longer here. So guess what? That information they had is definitely not useful for us. If it didn't help them, how can it help us? All right. I mean, they might have been able to do levitation and some of the things which we can do with machinery anyway. But the abilities that they had didn't protect them. The psychic abilities aren't used to protect mankind because it didn't. It didn't even help Jesus. So if it couldn't help him, who's it going to really help? Somebody that's going to tell you your future and what's going to happen to you tomorrow? We're in a place and nobody wants to deal with the truth about aliens. I don't understand it. Tina, you know people around you that got abducted. I know people. I've been dealing with it all my life. And still.
Is that noise coming from your end?
What? That was a chicken outside. A rooster.
No. It sounded like a metallic noise, eh?
Oh, that was my cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
But
there's a guy here. Where's his book? I need to have a book. I know him. Very nice gentleman. And people think I have an unbelievable story. I have to try and find his areas there. This guy claimed, Russ Kellett, there's his book, E.T. Rider. This guy claimed, and he's done drawings just like mine. I'm not sure if they're in here. He claimed, no, just him. There you go, yeah. He put drawings in my book. You'll see all the drawings I've put in there. He claimed that he was abducted and he was made to fight, like a selection process, made to serve in some like alien military, and people laughed at him. He has been interviewed by TV appearances. I think he's been in all types of magazines. And yeah, Super Soldier, E.T. Rider is called, original Super Soldier, and they reckon he took him to the future. And he warns people about what's coming. Same as the bits and pieces I've seen and predicted, and they showed me what was going to happen is happening. It's happening now. And I told people this 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I'll give them a date, 2020 to 2022. It would start. Russ Kellett is telling you. I'm telling you how many other people in the human race.
Well, you know what I realize. All right, alien races have been giving us future information. They work with Tesla, gave him 50 inventions. Oh man, I'm losing my voice.
Sorry. Just to answer a question in our chat room, I've never heard of the Flatwoods case, Richie. You'll have to regale me with that one. I have no idea. Tommy, do you know? Tommy's just having a drink like me. I don't know anything about the Flatwoods case. If you'd like to come on the show, if you contact Tommy, message Tommy, we can send you a link to come on and join us, and you can tell us if you like. But no, I don't know anything about the Flatwoods case. Is it American or UK or a different continent? I have no idea. I've never heard of it, sweetheart. Tommy, have you heard of that?
Yes, but I gotta get my voice back. The same time I did the show last time, my voice just disappeared. I went outside. They're spraying chemtrails like you wouldn't believe. Oh man,
you're all right.
Trying to get my voice so I could talk, but No, I want to get to the other subject first because what we're doing right now, playing a game, all right. And I tell you, I'm doing a workshop, and I'm trying to put the truth out there. Anybody interested in the real truth of what's going on, what's happening, what's not going on? I've been doing this workshop. I did 7 classes already. I'm debating if I'm going to keep going because I expected a few more people, and then again, I need more interaction. Because if I give somebody a technique, I want to know that they're using it or trying to use it at least. Because what's happening in the UFO world, and I'm saying this from my own personal experience, I'm protected from aliens. I always have been. So it's the matter of your vibration if they can sense you. Now, I have a book on how to see UFOs. And I do talk about if you go out and spend time, you're going to see UFOs. But the other thing I want to say is when I film UFOs out there, some of them just disappear the second I get the camera on them. Obviously, it's not a satellite. But why would they do that? Some let me film them. I mean, most of them do not. All right. I mean, I thought I was filming this light ship, blinked at me 120 times in about 5 minutes. I said, so cool. And then when I stopped my phone, it was dead and it never recorded it. I recently filmed it blink at me maybe 3 or 4 times just last month. I was really happy to do that because this light ship that blinks at me all the time is weird. All right. It's not a drone. It's not. Go ahead, Tina.
There's not, just because I'm noticing the time, we've got about 15 minutes left. I just want to work with something in between what Richie said and what Tommy said. Years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the American military and a joint mission with NASA and someone else, I'm not quite sure who, sent someone to a star system or exchange, like the close encounters that actually happened. They actually sent these people to another planet to live with aliens, didn't they? And they'd come back. One died on the planet, and then like 2 or 3 people actually came back. Now they give written descriptions, case files, and everything that's happened. But they know the people who went. They know roughly what's happened there. They're not denying it. They haven't released. Obviously, they're saying it's this has happened way back 70s, I believe, 60s. They're only supposed to go for like 6 years or 8 years. They won't send 10 or 12 years because the time difference was off a bit. So I'd love to hear about those stories and see what the files and that. So if anyone has a clue about any of that, let me know. And I've seen it, but they just haven't released all the files on it. Hello, Em.
Well, when they show these things on TV, they just did that on Strange Phenomena or one of those shows. I just watched it last week. They give you the information. I'm going to have to start using my other computer. This one's starting to screw up too much. My laptop. I don't know why that works better than this one, but it does. So when I see these shows and they put these stories up, like the one that happened in Russia with the all these people that were camping, and they found their bodies naked, half scrunched up,
and their tongues are that, yeah.
All these different things. Maybe it was what kind of creature, animal, person, terrorist group? Really? The ignorance. I can't get over that word with people anymore because all I hear is more ignorant people. Hi, people coming into the chat room. Appreciate it. They don't look for the truth. They listen to somebody telling their ideas, which is ancient aliens. Oh, I believe this and I believe this. And all those people in the UFO world that do the shows and stuff, their ideas and what they believe that they're here for. Tell me one good thing that they're here for. Don't tell us the lies. Tell people what good things. Yeah, well,
I'll just put that down. I'm going to look at the Flatwoods case. While we're here, Tommy, I know not too bad. I have a Geiger counter. It's that time of day because Tommy looks really worn out, guys. Just so you know that Tommy's last time we kind of spoke was I missed last week. Week before, Tommy's partner.
I've been up every night.
Yeah, she's been very seriously ill. Just want to touch on it quickly. Tommy looks worn out, bless him. He's been so worried. She is getting better, but still a long way to go. So we're just saying that for now. So guys, I wasn't very well. Tom, it was started as a joke. Tommy told me to get a Geiger counter. So listen, I've only Tommy's opinion. So I got a Geiger counter. Cost less than about 20 English pounds. There it is there. I've got one and Tommy got one. They're identical. I got it from Amazon. And I'm going to turn it on. Red button turns it on. And at the top there, you will see it says it is a volts per meter electrical magnetic field. This is micro Teslas. It does radiation, so it's a Geiger counter. And it also is electrical magnetic energy. So now mine's on. I'm holding near my screen and it's not going off because I have a smart screen computer. It doesn't allow, harmful rays to come through. Tommy's going to hold his up and his will probably beep because Tommy does not have one.
Well, mine, when I go closer to the screen, it stops for some reason. I'm trying to see if you can see it in my glasses. See the red light?
I can see it flash. I saw it flash then for a second. So when it flashes, it tells you it's
on a danger zone. It goes anywhere from 70 to up to 190.
But that's not good. You should be moving your face away from the screen.
Well,
and don't forget there's damage.
It's at 225 right now, where I have it right next to the screen.
Damage is permanent. So radiation damage is permanent, and electrical magnetic field affects the brain and body functions. Now, mine's going now. Mine's going, and I'm not even near my telly. That's near my telly. It's going down. Hopefully,
yours is going now.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Well, so hold on. We're going to give this on 0. And do you see the electrical magnet, the bottom one? It's on 34, 36.
Everybody see the bottom scale? That's impossible. All right.
That is micro Teslas.
And you're seeing it. You're seeing it right now. All right. Every scientist will tell you that red light blinking with that number is impossible. She can't be partially radioactive on and off. It's an impossibility. See that, people? You're witnessing something that's impossible. Ask any scientist you know, can a person...
And the red beeping means it's extremely harmful level, guys.
Yeah, and she does have the symptoms of radioactive poisoning, and she's dealing with that. I also say that the aliens are keeping her alive, because if somebody was that radioactive, they would be suffering, which she is not. I think it could be a lot worse for her. It's in your jaw.
Yeah.
So, that's what could be affecting your teeth real fast. Right?
Well, so mainly, it used to be this.
It used to be under your arm. Go put your arm up and do your arm. See, she was always radioactive there as well. It's moving around. It's moving around through her body. You're going to have to read us. Tina, do you talk about what was taken out of your body in your book?
Yeah, I think I do. No. I do. I put the account in there.
Talk about in your life. The most dangerous thing. People
are going to read this like, that's not true. That can't have happened. That's not true. It's like, but so while we're on the subject, this is the front cover, guys. So it's actually a licensed picture. It was made for my book, T.A. Bird. It's called Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction. And it's going to be out in the next few weeks, hopefully before Christmas. So I've just finished it up. I'll put my investigator sent me a report to put in there. I've thanked a few people at the beginning. And all I've done is just put things that have happened to me, things I've thought have been related to my abduction experiences and what actually happened in my abduction experience that I remember. I put drawings in and my photographs. I put photographs in, but I blanked my eyes out. It just freaked me out when I saw it on the screen. So you can see all the bruising and all the real bad. But let me just have a quick...
I'm trying to figure out what that question is. I'm trying to read it. Are you from Bikini Atoll? Am I reading that right, or am I missing something?
How far are you from Bikini Atoll, Tony? Oh, right, I don't know. I think they're talking to each other. I don't think they're talking to us.
Oh, okay, whatever. People, look, we get to do the show 1 hour a week. I do another show. I'm doing a workshop. Anybody wants a UFO book, how to see a UFO field manual, I'll give it to you for free. Just text me. It's a PDF file, so I can just send it to you over the computer. If you follow it, you'll see a UFO. If you never saw a UFO, please, you need to at least know that they're real, and then you could start from there. And then how deep you want to get into it's up to you, but it's not a beneficial thing. I didn't want to get into the UFO world. Tina didn't want to get into the UFO world.
No.
We were dragged into it. And that's a little different. I mean, these people that say, oh, I'd like to go on a UFO. 9 out of 10 people say, oh, I'd love to go on a UFO. Duh.
What would you like about going in a UFO? So you don't get to go voluntary, so they're not going to take you. It's probably filled with radiation because look what's happened to me.
Well, no, they think it's like a ride.
It's cut out of you if you're very unfortunate, but then consider yourself lucky because you've had an encounter.
They think it's like a Disney ride where you go through a cave on a roller coaster and you see creatures pop up and they
I equate it to be is war crimes against humanity. When you take someone against their will in the middle of the night, under guise of darkness, against their will, without even being asked, perform what's basically a living autopsy on you, taking out what you do, using your DNA, and then one of them made them fix me. They were quite happy to move on to someone else and let me die, I think. Anyone who thinks that they want to experience that does need a psychiatric evaluation in my book.
You know, I've been trying to get in touch with just about everybody in the UFO world, and they're all afraid to debate me. I have one person on. He's staying friends with me. Hopefully I'll get him on soon. My other friend just got out of jail, is dying. Hopefully I'll get him on soon. But all the other people in the UFO world, all of them are afraid to talk to me. Wonder why? I mean, even if I was just crazy, wouldn't you want to say, well, look, hey, get away from me, stop it or something? No, they're afraid to talk to me. Because when you don't talk the truth, you're afraid of the truth. Bottom line, all these people, I mean, like all the big name people and Ancient Aliens, all of them.
They ask the questions, but they don't like it when you give them an answer they don't want or not looking forward to. When you give them honest answers, like you said earlier, they're not here, they're not our friends or what have you. But if you say, yes, they're light beings, and let me see them talk to me at night, and they do this,
right.
Yeah, they want to know. They don't want to know the truth. And that's the end of it. But for me, it got about 2 or 3 minutes. Anything you want to say, Tommy? Let's wind it up.
Well, no, I'm going to keep talking. So you're going to say goodbye. But I'm going to let you do your book.
Oh, yeah. So I'm having my other two redone due to some family problems and some medical problems I'm having along the way. I haven't been able to release my book yet. But this is the book there. It's going to be called The Bonded, The Truth About Alien Abduction by T.A. Bird. That's me. And The Bonded is a book about them wanting a bond, a biological, chemical bond. That's what it's called, The Bonded. And it tells you just literally from what happened to me as a child. There's no like intricate personal details, just facts about what's happened, what I remember about the abductions. And that's it. It's all in the book. Hopefully I've kind of put them in like as it happened, chronological order, numerical order over the years. Try to put it in there. So when it comes out, you can read it all for yourself. It's all in there. If you buy a copy and you ever see me, I'll be quite happy to sign it. Or if you go to my website or message me, I'll be happy to sign and send you one. No problems. Just another, yeah. So it'll be called The Bonded, The Truth About Any Abduction. It'll be on Amazon, download, Kindle, what have you. So it'll be out there when I do have it. Again, I apologise for last week. There's lots of issues with health and family and things like that going on. Again, just before I go, I'd like to send well wishes to Tommy and thank everybody who has messaged me with prayers and get well messages for Tommy's partner. A few people have messaged me privately and chat to just ask about Tommy's partner and hope that everything's okay. So I'd like to thank all of you that have done that, and I've passed your wishes and get best wishes to Tommy. Again, so we continue prayers and hope that wish you all well, and you need to rest, Tommy. And I do wish your partner a speedy recovery on everybody.
It's always a pleasure, Tina. Till next week. Anything, stay in touch. I will stay in touch with you. I try to reply when I can and stuff when I get online. But stay safe. Say hi to the animals for me.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you in Southampton in the UK. It's been great. Guys, please look up. Just look up in the sky tonight. If you're anywhere in the world, you've got a clear sky, just sit there and look at the sky for 10 minutes. You'd be amazed at what you see. And you can learn to identify what's an aircraft, what's a star, and what's not supposed to be there. You will soon pick up. And Tommy, it's always great to see you. And sorry I missed last week. And take care, guys. Thank you for everyone coming in our chat room and messaging us. And we'll see you next week. But from me, bye-bye. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Tina. It's always great to have her on. I want to say this, people. Please send this link to everybody you know. Maybe it'll get to somebody that might be willing to reply to anything I want to ask them or that they talk about and claim. I met them all. The greatest from to the storytellers, you name it. 99% of them are great storytellers. They don't remember what happened. Thank you, everybody, for the prayers. My partner died 3 times, and I brought her back 3 times. So it's incredible that she's still here with me. So when you think you're leaving, there's always a chance that you might not, and it's not about guessing and all those kind of things. There's a word that we all deal with, and it determines what happens to us, and that's what my workshop's about. The word karma and life after death, reincarnation, all those words. It's all much more important than aliens are. Because you're going to die, and it's not going to matter whether aliens came here or not, what they did or not, what they're doing or not. It's going to matter what you're doing with yourself as soul. And the aliens aren't going to help you with that. Bigfoot's not going to help you with that. I know Native people claiming that they're working with Bigfoot and the star beings. And what are the star beings? They don't even know what race it is. They call them the star beings because they come from the sky. And everything they named was always simple. I mean, the Egyptians came up with some better words, and the Mayans came up with some better words. But basically, what are they talking about? All right. I have a little bit of time that I just want to get into a few things. I only deal with the truth. That's why I keep putting it up there. Truth only. I don't like to deal with lies. I don't like to be with people that lie. I won't deal with people that lie. Anybody else, I'm planning to bring 2 people on my show. I brought one person on my show who's an incredible person who actually does exorcisms. All right. But other people, I won't bring them on again. I used to do a show, and I used to bring people on every week. Big name people, but they lie. When I met them years ago, they lied, and then they come on my show and they lie again. I can't deal with that. I don't believe in liars. I don't accept them. Once I find out a person lies, they're useless in my reality. So every day goes by, and it seems like more people become useless, which is a little bit scary because, I'd like to know that the earth was getting better, but it's not. People live in dream world, fantasy, delusion. Oh, it's going to get better. Nothing is getting better. Now that we're moving into, and this is a fact, people, we're moving into UN Agenda 21. All right, we're in phase 4. Pull it up. Look what phase 4 of UN Agenda really is. And this was created a long time ago. 193 countries agreed on it. Population depletion, food shortage, the whole thing. Everything's part of it. It's not like something's happening that's not supposed to be happening. The only thing that could happen is the whole United States rebels against Congress and the government. But they won't do that. They're already locked into a job. Now they're locked into a virus. They can't do a lot of things now. They take away your right to fly, your right to do this, that. If you don't get an injection, you can't drive a car. They can do a lot of things to us yet. And don't think they're not going to try. People, talk about things that are important. Not one person talks about the underground cities. Why not? I think you should look at what we don't talk about. Find it. It's there. Check it out. Jesse Ventura talked about it. He talked about the HARP system. He exposed a lot of things before they took him off the air. Robert Morningstar, he's into a lot of government Kennedy stuff, but Robert Morningsky, he was dealing with Planet X 35 years ago, talking about it and stuff. Not that I believe what he said, because what he said about it being a mothership and all that, I don't believe that either. And if it takes that long for a ship to go around in the universe, it's got no propulsion, or you can't travel fast, speed, or anything like that. We got a lot of stories from every aspect. Look for the truth. It's there, people. If you go over the Bible with a fine-tooth comb, you'll find some truth, a little, but you will find some. You won't find out what Jesus came here to do. You won't come out and find out what he was really teaching and what he showed. You're not going to hear how evil his people that were following him were. You want the truth? It's there. There's 40 Bible Gospels that were supposed to create the Bible. They picked 4 of them. I'm not going to go into the Bible history because people that are Christians and believe in that, I'm sorry, that's your belief. It's a lot different than what you believe it to be, people. I'm serious. Because what's happening right now in the UFO world, lies are growing, getting better and better, stories getting better and better, making people believe more lies. The word experience that we talk about a lot on this show means a person programmed to believe something good happened. That's all it means. Doesn't mean anything really happened. They got no evidence, no proof, and they got a really cool story to tell. And if you want the truth, I dealt with Laura Eisenhower. I did a show with her. She came on my show. I think I had 140,000 people listening to that show. She agreed with everything I said. She wouldn't go against one thing I said. And then I listened to her for the next couple of weeks, and everything she said was the opposite of what I was talking about. She doesn't believe it and doesn't want to talk about it. She claims she went to Mars with the president. I mean, so does Bashago. All these people. Do you want the truth? Do you want the stories? You want to hear what they're telling us to make us believe? The UFO world is filled with so many lies. Sure, lots of people are seeing UFOs, but how many people have a clue what they're doing? Tina knows for sure. I do as well. Do you want the truth, what they're doing? They're not taking people on trips to go to a holiday up in space or nothing like that. And then you get these other people spending thousands and millions of dollars to go up into space for, what, half hour? Really? You're going to get such a big thrill that you could spend all that money when you could have saved thousands of children and helped homeless people. You could do incredible things with that money. And your ego is so big. I'm going to repeat this because it's the only thing that I feel is important to this day and age. And Jesus said it many times. I'm aware of my past lives all the way back to Atlantis. Jesus was a real person, people. He wasn't an alien. But he said this: it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to go into heaven. I say that every time I can. Rich people with their ego think they're better. Why do you think they suppress the poor and middle class people? Why do you think they can do what they want and get away with it? But they don't want poor people living next to them. They don't want poor people to be around them and have to pay for them, even though it's the poor middle class people paying for everything that they do. All right. I'm coming to an end. I got to go see how my partner's doing. I'm having a hard time still. I mean, she had a pacemaker put in, and it's a foreign object in your body now. But people, the truth is all that matters. Don't accept anybody else's. Whatever you hear, prove it to yourself. I can go on and talk about the most important UFO stories in the United States that aren't talked about. UFO people do not talk about them. Why? Because they don't know the truth or want it. They rather feed you, well, I believe good aliens are going to help us. They help this people build this and building pyramids. Does that explain anything about spiritualism or religion or a way of life? It shows slavery. If you were involved with building a pyramid, it was a long time. So what were you doing? Starving most of the time? How much food do you think they were growing to feed all these people? How many farmers do you think they had at that time? Probably 3 times more farmers than people building the pyramids to feed those people, if you want to look at the facts behind it and how they got these stones from so far away and made these people pull across there. What were they feeding them? What were they drinking? So people, facts are useless because 99% of them are not real. All the truth about Native people are lies. All the things you were told in school about Native people were lies. Anything you read about Native people in most books are lies. So are you ready for the truth? I mean, the Native history truth, is it better than any other tribe? Probably not. The only thing I could say, the oldest tribe in the United States was the Hopi people. And not all the other races. There's 550 tribes, and they were all weren't here in the original foundation of planet when planet Earth was formed and the United States was created. All right, people. Look, the truth is here. If you want it, you can put questions, email me, text me, hawksblood1AOL.com. Please, I'm doing this to bring truth out, not to question myself or trying to prove something to myself. I know what I know. Trying to get somebody else to believe it's 10 times harder. If you don't experience something, you don't understand it. We could talk about the pyramids. We could talk about a lot of things, but they're all useless in my world. They're not helping mankind. All that information is useless. Weapons are useless. Tesla was given weapons by an alien race. Useless. It's going to destroy the planet. Nothing in 30,000 years has been created to help make mankind more spiritual. The word spiritual does not exist on this planet, people. Oh, well, these people. Nobody's spiritual or they wouldn't be here. You don't stay in hell because you're a spiritual being trying to help demons in hell. All right, unless you watch Lucifer, the movie, TV series, you might believe that. But outside of that, no. People don't go down into hell to help them. Aliens are coming here to help us? No. All right, people. Hope you got something out of today. If not, wait till next time. Call, write, email me, text me. Any of my books, my first 2 books, How to See God, When Truth is Called Crazy, and my ebook, my PDF file, How to See UFO Field Manual. Please, people, I'm not making money off of it. Just trying to get people the truth if they're ready to listen or read it or find out or go out and do it. If you never saw a UFO, go out and do it. And then that's one less thing you have to say that you didn't do in your lifetime. All right, till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Truth only, no lies accepted here, no storytellers are allowed in, and that's the way I keep it. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you want in your life, hope you get it. Don't give up, the truth's there. If you look for it, I'm willing to try. Till next time, thank you everybody that came in. Send the link to everybody. This link will be open. The workshop that I'm doing is closed, so if you try to want to get into that, you have to text me, email me, and I will give you a specific link to get into it. All right, till next time, Tommy Hawksblood, over and out.